Hi, Taylor T. Carlson here, and today we're going back to the 1980s for something of a minor classic from that era. I refer, of course, to Red Dawn. This movie is just getting its first 4K release, courtesy of Shout Factory, who had previously released a special edition of the film on Blu-ray. I'm going to unbox this 4K Blu-ray combo pack, share my opinions on the movie and the features, and let you know if I recommend this package or not. Nice close-up there of our stars. Nice who's who cast of classic 80s actors there. I mean, the starring cast that's billed here, of course, is Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, Leah Thompson, Charlie Sheen, and Jennifer Grey. Did you know that Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze actually did a movie together before Dirty Dancing? Now you do. So, great shot of them together. Here's the top of the backing card. Back of the backing card, that's got a list of special features, description of the film, legalese and credits. Behind that, you've got the artwork of the communist soldiers paratrooping into Colorado. Here we have our two discs. We've got some artwork in the back. I'll remove the discs so you can see those and also see the artwork that's behind. 4K Ultra High Def disc. This has the movie, of course, in 4K. There are no bonus features on the 4K disc. We then have the included Blu-ray disc, which also has the film on it in addition to the bonus features. It's not really clear if this is the same disc that Shout Factory put out in 2017 or so, or if this is a new disc sourced from the master that was the basis for the 4K disc. If anyone has any information on that, please share it in the comments below because I'm a little curious about that myself. And then right here we have the backing art, which is our heroes, of course, standing out in the winter, ready to fight the communists. Red Dawn, of course, is set in a small town in Colorado where you have plenty of kids that are attending high school. It's a pretty mundane, typical life until one day when an ensemble of communist soldiers made up of people from several communist countries invades the United States. It's not long before there are firefights in the streets and the city is under communist occupation. A group of youngsters manages to get their hands on some weapons from a friend's father's sporting goods store, and they camp out in the woods, eventually returning to wage war on the communists, trying to free the town, fighting against an ever-growing threat that seems to be getting more dangerous every day. Will these young soldiers survive and live to liberate America, or will they end up casualties at the hands of the enemy? Back in the 1980s, you had a lot of films like this where it was believed that, you could run the risk of a communist attack or invasion on the United States. And they made these movies that just had this really jingoistic, gung-ho, pro-America attitude. Some of these things definitely seem a little dated by today's standards, but I think it just makes these movies all the more fun to go back and enjoy. Red Dawn is certainly dated in many regards. I will not deny that for 1 second. But I had a great time watching this movie. I think I'd only seen bits and pieces of it before, but this was my first time actually sitting down and watching the whole thing from start to finish. It actually gives us some pretty decent, fully realized characters and some great performances from the actors. The supporting cast includes the likes of Powers Booth as an Air Force pilot who joins our young heroes, Lane Smith as the mayor of town who tries to collaborate with the communists to keep casualties down. He's probably best known for playing Coach Riley in the original Mighty Ducks film. And you even have Judd Omen, the actor who played Mickey, the convict in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, playing one of the communist soldiers. And then one of the generals is portrayed by the actor who played Kronstein in the James Bond movie From Russia with Love. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that guy's name because I don't want to butcher it. And then you even have Harry Dean Stanton as the two main brothers' father. So it's a fantastic cast. This beautiful scenery, supposed to be set in Colorado, but actually filmed primarily in New Mexico. Looks very nice. You have a lot of great rocky and wooded landscapes and beautiful landmarks. The cinematography here is top-notch, and it really translates well to a home video 4K transfer like this. I'll get to the picture quality in a little bit. I mean, again, there are some scenes that don't work, largely due to their datedness and the over-the-top nature of a lot of what you see here, but overall, I do think this is a very entertaining film. One thing I give it credit for is it actually tries to humanize the villains. It doesn't just make them these one-dimensional killers. They actually have a little bit of depth too, and they actually make them seem, a little more important. When you actually humanize the villains, it makes the movie seem a little less one-dimensional. I'm glad to see this movie tried to do that. Red Dawn was actually remade around 2012 or so. I have yet to see the remake, but I've heard nothing but bad things, so it's not exactly too high on my to-do list. Red Dawn has had many releases on home video formats over the years. I've never owned any of them, but based on what I've read, a lot of those older releases are not that good. So I was a little worried about seeing how this movie would stack up on 4K. I worried for nothing. This is an amazing looking transfer. I wasn't expecting much, given that this was like a slightly dated 80s movie, which may even be relegated to B-movie status by today's standards, but the cinematography is really reflected well here. It's colorful. The Dolby Vision and the HDR just look absolutely perfect. You have a lot of nice deep dark black levels when they're called for, but then you have the lush greens of a forest, rocky landscapes, all the clothes on the townspeople, all the buildings there. It's good to see this movie finally getting the treatment it deserves. The only real problem that I have is there are a few sequences with optically inserted subtitles, and those sequences, just because of how they were made, look a little softer and less polished than the rest of the movie. But overall, I'm extremely impressed with this transfer and how good they managed to make Red Dawn look for its 4K debut. Again, you also get the movie on the Blu-ray disc. It's not clear if that's the older master used for the older Shout Factory release, or if it's the newer master that was used that was the basis for the 4K disc. Either way, though, it's a great looking film, and I'm glad to see that it's been given its just dues on a 4K disc. No new bonus features here, unfortunately. We do get the documentary Looking Back, which runs just over an hour, and that's pretty entertaining. That was on the previous Shout Factory disc. And then we also have several legacy features from the DVD era, plus a theatrical trailer. So while there are no new bonus features, I am glad to see that the transfer is absolutely top-notch, and they've still given us plenty of legacy material that'll give the fans of the movie plenty to watch. Are you a fan of Red Dawn? Where would you rank this when it comes to classic 80s films? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, subscribe to my channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.